I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Shimmy slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it. I said bop, bop, bop. Yeah, my lord said don't do it. I said bop. Yeah, my lord said don't do it. I said bop. Can you keep up? Play follow the leader. Big queso. I'm born with the ether, but I still took heat up. No halo. I've been with a handgun. I've been on my King Kong. Come halo. I've been on. What? Check my pedigree. I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Shimmy slide like me, nah. Spice it up with a sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it. I said what? Check my pedigree. I got legacy in my pop. You playing hopscotch on that top notch on the block. Shimmy slide like me, nah. Chill it with the sauce. Yeah, my lord said don't do it. I said what?
It's never too late to make your debut here in VCT EMEA. It doesn't matter that it's week number 4. 2 new players joining in for Giant X, still waiting to see if they can get the first win of the stage on the board. And Ulysses, please guide me through this map, Vito.
We're gonna see Peking GX Aston, so they want to go to something that is. I mean, I'm not surprised. GX is bringing 2 players that flight 2 days ago. They didn't have that much time pracking. They were pracking also with Ocam, so I expect them to be playing much more likely like a ranked. And Aston is one of the maps that every single one knows how to play.
Yeah, I'm very surprised because Giant X moves away from that icebox that they've been banning the entirety of the stage. Fnatic won the coin flip and chose to be that team B, so they put them in the spot. And Fnatic does not want to go to that icebox either, Meg.
I mean, we've seen them ban it in week 2, so I think they knew that they could leave that in there and it was very unlikely to be picked. I think this first game on Ascent is going to be so important for Giant X to win out because the rest of the map pool is looking like it's going to go in Fnatic's favor, in my opinion anyway.
No, I have to be honest, he's going for Fnatic.
Yeah. So we're still feeling that even though Giant X, do you not think that there's an edge when you bring 2 new players onto the board? I know the Fnatic has been looking very, very good this stage, but there has to be a saving grace for Giant X.
I think to do it now against a team like Fnatic, who has such a roster that's full of experience, that is full of these amazing plays, these unexpected plays, they can adapt on the fly. I think it's going to be really interesting bringing the 2 new players in who are learning the comms, learning the maps, learning the way that Giant X have been playing previously, because in that moment, are they going to be able to adapt on the fly?
A match like this, without pressure, could be maybe a good spot for them. Maybe GX could do something, and it's a proper honeymoon. But to be honest, they're facing one of the best teams right now. Oh no!
I mean, I'm going to say, I love to see Alpha on a Sentinel, and if it is the buys, welcome it is. Crash has also been having a great performance on the Deco lately, Meg.
I have to say, Crashies has obviously flourished on the team since the beginning at kickoff, and I am so here for the Alpha Vice. I said this back in the Game Changers playoffs, that I am a Vice enjoyer through and through. I go feral for a Vice, and to see Alpha playing that Vice, you just can't beat it.
I like it. I mean, we're talking about one of the strong holders of the competition. And if you bring him in with Vice, having all the spots covered and also having a flash to pick, Alpha could be just holding any side as he wish.
Yeah, and we're speaking about the new players, the head-to-head Kayak versus Ara. Definitely with the performance that we've been seeing from the Fnatic duelists is going to be very, very interesting. But Meg, you were having a chat with Alpha and Mini, so now as I'm choosing this to the casters, I want to ask Mini, what do you think of Alpha here on the Vice? And Pansy.
Yeah, all right, Bayer, relax. I'm going to be asking the questions here, and actually we will come to that. We will focus in on this map. We'll talk about the new players, we'll talk about the composition, but I do want to start a little bit wider out, actually. I want to talk about the Vito here. Do you think this is enough of a win con, or maybe even just stepping towards that for Giant X? Because I feel like they've carved a little space for themselves.
Yeah, I absolutely love this Vito from Giant X. Taking out Split immediately, which wasn't great for them last game, and looked phenomenal for Fnatic. And now testing Fnatic's map pool. We haven't seen Fnatic on that Ascent or Icebox, and they've been banning them quite early into series. So I think this is a very good approach from Giant X. The other thing I talk about is that Ascent is a very historically standard map.
Yes.
And I think that that's a win condition for a new team like Giant X.
And historically, it has been a stronghold for the likes of, I guess, Cloud, you could say, Pips, and the teams he's been as well. This has always been a solid map for them. And we will talk about Fnatic in the roles they're currently playing, because Alpha on that Vice is certainly something to look towards, but also my eyes can't help but turn towards Flickless and obviously Ara on the other side. A very aggressive beginning, so I'll pause my thought there as Ara already gone from this round, as is Flickless. So a quick welcome to the VCT. It hits a little harder in these leagues, and Fnatic stamping their authority in a 4v3 early on.
Yeah, with this new composition, I expect rounds like this from Fnatic. We haven't seen them play it, so all the tricks are going to be up their sleeves.
Yeah, it kind of puts a little bit of the pressure on Jonex to be up to the challenge, right? And this isn't exactly a highly played map for them if you look at the amount of times they've played it, but it's obviously sat well with them in the past. Now we look at what they can recover from here, Giant X. It looks like that focus to split through trees, still focused towards that A side, but Kron is waiting. Nice. Well, the connection towards west side. Kayak as well catching Cloud, trying to slip the smoke. Spike now loose, and Purpo not really able to make much impact through main. So try and maybe find a new way here, but I think Alpha will have heard these steps. Yeah, he absolutely has. Clean work for Alpha in the end. And looking at these new players, trying to get comfortable on a stage like this, it is a different environment, and it's a big opponent to begin against. I mean, we've got a 22-year-old in the form of Flickless, and Ara obviously 20 years old coming in from that UCAM sort of team. And scouting-wise, you've always been one of those players, or sorry, coaches who've looked for these upcoming players. Have these two ever featured on a list ever? Have they ever been in that conversation for you, or there were other prospects you'd focus on first?
I believe Flickless has been on my radar. I think specifically the list might have been the 6th man for Fnatic during 2023 when we had Kamek. He might have been in the list because he plays the same roles. His name's definitely been there and someone on my radar. For Ara, I have no idea about this guy. Coming up through tier 2, his stats seem decent. But yeah, I'm excited to see him play.
Yeah, it's a hard first opponent, isn't it? To feel comfortable against as well. And somewhat unknown. You don't really know what Fnatic are going to look like here. And we do have this new composition as well.
Yeah.
As Bayer was discussing, this should be a throwaway round. It is only classics for Giant X. So how do we feel about Alpha in this Vice role?
Alpha specifically, I think he'll be fine. I think that Fnatic, like, they're going to have all the tricks up their sleeves for this first time they've played it.
Yeah.
So Giant X doing a good job for the rest of the teams who are going to play Fnatic later in a sense, trying to expose, you know, where are they cooking, where they're not cooking. But I expect it to be more than fine for the first time.
I don't see there being many of an issue.
I think specifically for the Vice, for Alpha, having that flash to fight off of is something that he's not used to having, that self-sustained like tool. That makes sense?
Yeah.
So I'll be very interested to see if he's just going to flash and fight people.
Yeah, that'll be fun going forward. Nice round there for Fnatic, going through the motions. Did lose out on Alpha and Crashies. Not the end of the world. Absolutely fine. Ticking the box. Now we get to the fun part, right? This is when we really focus up on Giant X and how they want to approach this. It's a bonus for Fnatic, so the buy is going to be shaky at best. A lot of light shields out to play, a lot of leftovers. But I do want to see Giant X take some control of this now. I want to see them look solid in what they're doing. I want to see them have that, I don't want to say singular approach, but a very focused goal as to how they want to achieve it. So nothing too complicated with their composition either. Very run-of-the-mill for them. So application is everything. And the setup in play already for Fnatic. It looks like an aggressive start for Kayak.
Yeah, very set bonus here. It looks like they've got an idea around middle. Maybe using that Yoru to bait a false sense of security into the middle of the map where the Yoru usually is, but surprise, there's going to be 3 people here.
Ooh, what's the plan to go on this one? A lot of presence shown already just by spamming that smoke, the owl drone there, all of the bits and pieces. And maybe a further crunch to this. Yeah, Ara's going to have to be quick on his feet, dip away towards top middle, and try and reset. Fnatic aren't giving this space up for free at all.
No, they don't get much from it. A little bit unlucky, perhaps. The recon did ping. But now Fnatic reset.
Yeah, for Giant X, it looks like that drift up middle, up cap, straight towards that A site. But we're looking towards where that util is invested from Alpha. It was the early flash towards B, but we can see the wall now, presence towards short. This is lovely. This is stalling out and allowing for that 3rd man in rotation. And you highlighted there, look at that deep line for Kayak.
Yeah, Fnatic got them completely surrounded here.
Oh, this is going to be tough. We've already got Alpha tucked in towards Hell, Boaster playing from Heaven. And the split is mostly focused through towards Tree, but it's segmented. Flickless with a lovely little double, gets themselves on the site, and they have some security here. I'm going to have his work cut out trying to work it back through, but I didn't even think about Teo on this map as well, breaking down that door so easily. It doesn't really make many odds for now. Can they make this costly? Whereas Giant X got some stability here. Waiting patiently for anyone to overpeak. Not seeing that now. You can see the temptation from Ara, but not going for it.
Crashies is going for a really late lurk. Time is...
Maybe just trying to cost him weapons. At this point, this is still the bonus for Fnatic, try and lock him in. maybe cost them some of these rifles, but if they do path down towards tree, then they're pretty much scot-free here. Crashes and Chronicle are two with the Vandals, but they may be opting against it. This is on Crashes now to farm up. This is nice from Kayak. That's a rifle cost. You don't want to lose more than one more than that's been dropped. Crashes going to make it costly. Big economic damage in the end. Very nicely done. Costing them 3 of those invested rifles. The Fnatic Chronicle's going to keep his. The rest can reinvest. But still, Giant X showing some looks here.
Yeah, it came down to Alpha on that A site, and I thought that if he played a little bit more disciplined, perhaps not under... We called that spot Alpha when he played. He loved to just sit in that corner every single time. But unfortunately, he's kind of isolated there by himself. There's not too much support. I like Fnatic that they had good surround, but ultimately, if your site players are dying, then that surround doesn't matter.
It's a great first stake of claim for Giant X. That's got to feel good. Get off the starting blocks. They haven't had a totally awful run so far. They haven't been able to claim a win yet this stage, but they've been picking up maps here and there. But obviously, with new players joining the roster, you want positive results. And I feel like, as you highlighted, this is a good area. This map could be a good place for them to find some potential. Kayak's still on that Outlaw, dealt with so easily. Yeah, there's light shields to maybe try and work it against, but Cloud absolutely different him.
I think that's something that people don't realize. The Guardian's extremely strong against these light shields too. That you only need 2 shots to the body, so it does act as like a slightly nerfed Outlaw at times.
The unfortunate factor is that they still have Alpha with full setup on that B site, no early test of it, and we're sub a minute, so they could potentially reinvest towards A. I like this reposition towards main from Crashies as well, taking a bit of that space away. They can't be completely passive. But looking at the pivot, Giant X trying to paint this picture that's going to be this A hit, but it is leaning back towards B.
Yeah, nice maturity in this mid round. Nothing too obvious, but they need to check Chronicle.
Oh my god, Aura was quick to adjust there. Really nice. Now the first real challenge for Alpha on this, it's a lot to handle on this site, and he goes for, I mean, that was a bold maneuver from Alpha. It wasn't going to work out. Aura with a lovely approach towards towards B, straight up middle. Plant's going to be there. Giant X looks solid here. These lovely rotations, they're kind of getting that pick, slowing it down, working the map, feigning that A presence, and that late look back towards B. I've got to say, it felt like, who was it, Kron? Kind of sat towards Pizza, could have had something there, but just wasn't to be.
Yeah, it felt like very old school ascent to me, almost like 2021 vibes. Pipsons have been around this long. I remember these rounds that he used to do against us 5 years ago almost at this point. You know, pivoting that middle area is very strong. So it might be something that Giant X continues to try to do is, you know, put that pressure towards short and middle and then flip it. And then when Fnatic kind of start thinking it's a fake, then they just go direct.
And this will be a big challenge for Alpha going forward. If they are going to continue to kind of leave him, I don't want to say on an island on B, you can hold it just fine, but it's that level of comfort that he's going to have. Is he up to challenge on it? Is he up to the test on it? Didn't like the walk through smoke off the back of, I guess it was off the back of the flash, but it just didn't really have the length to it.
It felt a bit desperate to give him a bit of an out. They were in a 4v5 situation. It looked like Fnatic didn't quite know what to do with that macro in the 4v5. Usually they'd be, you know, we want to play very strong here, very weak here, but they're a bit spread out and didn't look too committed to one idea.
See if they can pull that back in. Cloud here does have ult as well. Looking through any early progress. Crashy's only one away from his, and so is Kayak.
Economy not great for Fnatic, but considering they've lost 2 in a row, they still have a little bit to work with here.
Do they have something special for us? We don't know how high up this is in their veto as well. You'd imagine for Giant X this is a map that they can depend on more than before. I have to go in. Should at least connect towards, I imagine, Crashies. Don't know if it caught Boaster as well, but beyond that, again, Kayak taking over this B main approach.
Giant X seem to be playing a very anti-eco style, and the guns might be a surprise to them here.
Yeah, again, it depends who they kind of greet first, I guess. It's Kayak with the Phantom, Crashies with the Vandal still. Split, of course, across the sites, but it's feeling like that slow build towards A is coming in. Crashies is going to give away that he does have a rifle here. And now the problem starts to mount. This is going to be an issue. Boaster trying to play it forward, but he gets caught. This is gorgeous. Giant X looking like they're on the same page finally. This looks good. Ara looking to try and slip the net. Finds a man. That's Alpha gone. Not having the best of times in those smokes, old Alpha. And now Kron, he was already on that Sheriff, so it was never going to be easy for him. But Kayak coming over with the Phantom might still be able to do some damage. But by all rights, this is solid from Giant X. Westside going to probably close the account here. Ara just going to confirm it, and in zone flawless. Giant X have every answer they need so far.
I thought macro-wise Fnatic had a decent round there. They set up Kayak on the B side of the map deep into B main, and it did over-rotate towards A. So they did have almost 4 people ready for that hit. but Giant X just had the ult advantage and economy advantage to deal with anything that Fnatic had there. I do like from Giant X these like little prods into Garden. Like instead of going traditionally up to a short onto the A site normally, they are pressuring that Garden. It's worked out twice for them now, getting a kill in that smoke.
And look at the switch of setup as well. A really high focus here towards Tree, towards A main, putting that Vice all over that area. So a different challenge coming forward.
Yeah, his wall on short as well, like here. It's a very awkward wall to default out. You can't just run up and jump around it.
Yeah, you're kind of committed already.
Very committed, yeah. Oh, big tail.
Okay, does
nothing off the back.
Ooh. Okay.
You'll take it.
Yeah, we'll take one. Look, it's better than Governor's. He's done well. And that's one of the ults removed. Flickless did have that KO. I think, I'm not sure if he had it into this round, but still, that's rather lovely to take away. But they should be starting to get a bit of a read of what's happened here. This adjustment, they're going to note surely some of this Vice utility, going to note that there was that presence from Crashies. Do they then start looking for other options? It looks like that is the case for Giant X. Westside is hitting today. Gorgeous. Chronicle just wanted info. That silence became really pressured, and he got it right back. 4v4 now.
I think unnecessary mistake from Chron though. He could easily just be jump spotting. He doesn't need to move the rotation at all. Fnatic are set up strong towards that A side of the map.
This is tough though.
Down to Kayak.
Gonna be forced off this one.
Nice.
Gonna go for the ult. Gets him out of there, can reposition towards backside if he fancies. And also Boaster slipped in, but look who's been caught. Purpo catching Crashy is really going to create problems. Boaster tries to greet him with a smile. Ara still going to be fighting forward. Time getting low now. 10 seconds cleared. Giant X showing off now. 8 seconds. They got to get a plant, and Alpha is a problem. Until then, Purpo, safe pair of hands. Giant X absolutely outplaying Fnatic here in my mind.
Yeah, Giant X just looked comfortable. Like, that pick onto Chronicle was the round, in my opinion.
Yep.
But Fnatic don't seem to have the most comfortable defense theory. And it's never been a map that's particularly strong for Fnatic. Even in the 2023 year on that throwback Thursday judgment, you know, we got away with a bit of murder, not having it picked against us sometimes. So, not a map that Fnatic are traditionally known for.
No, and it is quite surprising because, again, I feel like this map does play out quite traditionally, right? It's got a very standardized approach, at least from what I'm seeing from Giant X. You know, we're not seeing anything too tricky about how they're playing this. And, again, Fnatic, in my mind, do tend to have very good reads of how they want to approach things. Speaking of, hold on. He cancels that plan. I thought he might have followed a little bit further on that one.
Yeah, he's the only one with the bigger gun here, the Guardian. But very composed from Giant X, knowing the economy situation. It's going to be a slow round.
An additional body brought towards mid here. Crashies trying to complement Chronicle's position. The Aldrone shown from market.
But we can see the tech here, the Vice Flash on the Arch, something I've not seen before. Era has to be careful here.
And now noting Crashies, would you then pivot further towards A or explore that option? Alpha, the timing is going to be curious here. Ara is getting closer. He's had look lovely from Ara. This guy's doing really well. You want to see a young star like this having those impact rounds, but this one is just good farming. Great trade for Westside too. They're catching everything they need, and all eyes turn towards Ara here. And he's caught the perfect timing on this. Chronicle caught with nowhere to go. Follow-up looking likely not to be. Boaster outswings, but still the numbers sit with Giant X, and they have the site.
Yeah, the guns situation isn't great for Fnatic. Retaking with an Outlaw and a Guardian. Not ideal.
So much still to play with here too. Purpo still got that paranoia. Smoke just coming back in. Flickless as well, ready with the flash if it comes down to it. I don't see a way in. And certainly not like that. Caught off guard. Westside has been firing on all cylinders. I've got to say, Fnatic need a timeout. They need to switch something up here. Minnie, what would you be saying in these moments? Because, again, Fnatic, I feel like for the last couple of games have been on this really good increase. They've been looking better and better per game. Confidence looking good. Now they've met a bit of a challenge on a map that they don't have, I'd say, high up in their map pool. But still, you don't want to be going down in these scenarios here. This is still a game that you'd want to put in a good performance for.
I think they're just losing. They're going 4v5 in situations they shouldn't, or just losing a person in situations they shouldn't. Chronicle on market, I don't think he should have died. Alpha sat by himself on A side. The kind of macro that I'm not a big fan of, where you're just like leaving someone by themselves, especially on that A side of the map where
Good job, guys.
playing
Good
for the
job, bro.
retake isn't the worst idea in the world. So it's just a bit more of discipline,
Okay.
I guess.
You're gonna have to get that ready. See, coaching staff mostly leading the conversation here, and one investment that I can see, I don't know if you guys can, I don't think you can yet, is the operator being considered by Kayak. Otherwise, they should be able to get a decent buy around it. Kayak chilled out, relaxing. But otherwise, it is going to be interesting if this is enough of a response, because I feel like Kayak's been getting some of these deep lines anyway, even on just the Vandals, taking good space. Like, Kayak's been fine in my mind. Yeah, it hasn't really been him to be the one to change the outcome.
He's been in positions to win Fnatic macro in terms of being into that deep B main position and having good information on the map.
Yeah.
But the rest of the boys haven't kind of delivered.
Yeah. So, again, do you then put Kayak somewhere else? 'Cause we haven't been seeing these kind of direct B approaches.
I think for this round specifically, it needs to be around Flickless's KO ult. Do they have an anti-ult set up here? Is Vice going to be one side of the map to avoid it? It looks like he's not. Alpha's not, so he could be in trouble here. And then also,
Right here.
Alpha also has the Vice ult. So
Okay,
if I was to
I
make a
think they've
call here,
realized-
it would be go towards the A side of the map, play retake, use that Vice ult in the retake.
Yeah, I think they've realized. I don't know if it was late, but Alpha has adjusted to go towards Cat now. So that B side will be only really held by Kron a little bit deeper. Playing from backside, support coming from Market, but Ara's already ahead of this, deep through towards CT. Are they expecting it? Yes! Kayak with a quick shot. Takes away Ara. And it is all a fake. Yeah, big fake as well, and it's worked wonderfully. Host doesn't want to take the risk. He doesn't know what's around that corner. We know there was one main and one towards site, but the rest now filtering through. And almost a lurk now for Flickless.
Yeah, in a crazy position from Purple.
Feeling brave. Maybe wanted to take that chance because the player disadvantage. He can give information that no one's coming through Heaven so far, but still Garden going to come in, going to invest that smoke real quick. The Paranoid looking good. Kayak going to take another step forward. This is the time to pounce. Boaster takes away Cloud. Purpo replies. It's still going back and forth here. Don't think it's over until then. Boaster's patience pays off. Well invested ults, really setting the tone.
Yeah, it was a nice idea from Giant X, but unfortunately, I don't think I want to throw a fake against a Vice ult, if that makes sense. Especially on the A side of the map where the shorties don't feel as good in the post plant. I think if you end B and you got the shorties tucked in all these close angles in jail and towards the stairs and stuff, I'd prefer that outcome.
Yeah.
Nice.
What I do like from Ara though is 2 rounds in a row. I know that he died going aggressive there, but for such a young player on the stage to be that fearless, I'm like, okay, fair enough.
You kind of have to let him do that as well. Just, keep that confidence high, go for those. I wouldn't even call that 50-50. That's like a 70-30, quite risky, but I like it. And it's rewarded him so far. Top of the board for Giant X, so you get him feeling good about this one.
Exploration through middle from Fnatic.
They don't know. They only know about one. The knife actually only caught towards Crashies, but it's a quick clear. Cloud and Ara very heads up about this. We've seen the diligence in this mid-presence from Giant X, and this time it's been rewarded earlier on.
It looked a little bit desperate from Fnatic. Maybe feeling the pressure of being behind here.
We haven't seen them playing from behind too often, genuinely, since at least the start of things this time around. A little bit, again, if we're going to talk bigger picture, right, like to an extent we have to when it comes to at least Fnatic, when we're talking about playoffs and such and so on, this does bring up, the veto and the depth of map pool and how other teams will see this. If Fnatic look, I don't want to say lost, but nowhere near as strong as they are on other maps, it becomes a little bit of a potential, like, again, rolling it back here, Boaster, no man's land, swept aside.
Yeah, the best case outcome for them here would have been to beat Giant X convincingly and make it look like a catfish map.
Like the classic sunset that you guys ran in the past.
Yeah, of course, yeah.
It does work though, right? It adds in that element of, okay, we can kind of float this one because we know they really would eventually like it gone. It gives you that nice little kind of bit of play. Here, this is a save. There's nothing else to be had. Those 2 picks in mid that Giant X got early on basically won the round.
Yeah, I think the other thing for the Fnatic kind of narrative is that this game doesn't matter for their seeding, but next week's against Heretics does for that seed 1. And, next week it now means that their ascent is wide. It could be open. You know what I mean? It could be something that determines that seed 1 is the veto next week. It's not over yet, but still the holes have been
If we can see it, other coaches should be able to see it, other players should be able to see it. It's definitely not a stronghold here. Giant X, and credit to them, they're not doing anything brand new, they're not changing the world, they're playing just good Valorant so far.
Decent, yeah. I think that's the problem I have with Giant X is that sometimes I watch them like, I actually quite like what they're doing. It's just they're losing.
Yeah. And look, if they get a couple more gunners on their side, right? Let's say Ara and Flickless have some more great performances, look really good on this. It revitalizes the roster. You get some confidence off this map win. That future investment looks good for Giant X, right? This isn't a short-term reward they're looking for here. This has to be a long-term solution to some of those issues. Yeah. So, again, ticking the box for me so far.
Let's see how Fnatic react now. Last round it was that mid-walk, very unsuccessful. This round more of a spread approach. The Kayak's already been pushed off middle. Giant X essentially own the whole map already, which is a little bit worrying.
I mean, originally it felt like Kayak was trying to take some of that space, but now he's top mid. He's playing deep as he can do, really. I wouldn't even put it on him. He was doing well, taking good information around the map, but this time leaving Giant X to explore as far as they can, getting to about the minute mark. They will have to start committing.
That recon into B main might be a bit... Oh, okay, that's fine. The information game, I was worried that Fnatic would have misread that information, and Giant X could have used it against them, but it all looks fine.
Yeah, here we go. There's the big info builder, isn't it? We've seen a lot here. How does Kayak want to approach it? Combining it with the ult going to be coming through from Chronicle. Did it? I think it only tagged Ara?
I think so.
Yeah, they're still trucking through towards that B site. We've got Kayak on it.
Yeah, there's this fake pressure in the market. They're ready for the A split.
Yeah, they are waiting patiently. And it looks like Fnatic aren't fighting this time. They've learned a little bit more of their lesson. This is tough for Westside to get away from. Gets at least one tick of damage off of those salvos coming in, but now it gives Boast to the corner to play on. And now you're looking at the time.
Seconds.
You're looking at that time. This has been a good bit of stall from Fnatic here. Boaster needs to buy a couple more seconds. He's going to leave one more to take a fight on it. Ara's going to clear Crashies. They might be able to get a plant now. Hold on. It's not over yet. Playing from those pressured scenario, they're holding on. Boaster needs to get out of dodge real quick because Westside is trying to bully his way through heaven, leaving just Alpha alive in a 1v2. Loud on the site. Flickless playing down low. And oh, it's perfect. Giant X, even under pressure from the clock, still finding composure for the plant.
Yeah, Giant X, yeah, with that time pressure, that's when, you know, the comms get hectic, players get a bit pressured, but very composed for a team that's never played an official together before. Wild, isn't it? I do think that Fnatic are lacking some of the protocols, though. I think that they're overplaying this A site, and when a team defaults mid in the way Giant X are, I wouldn't mind them getting aggressive into A main, leaving someone there, and then when this short exec happens, they at least have space somewhere to work with. Money not looking great again for Fnatic.
No.
So a bit more of aggression.
Nab of the ult orb, but it's a very small victory. It's Fnatic playing 3 middle. Cloud gonna just get into safety. Ara maybe overextending a bit there. He didn't have to take that. I don't know if he got caught just off the back of the flash, but a good first pick for Fnatic.
Yeah, I like the flash play. Again, all the micro I've seen from Fnatic, they've got interesting ideas that I genuinely haven't seen yet. You know, I haven't been studying all my Ascent VODs, but I've watched enough to know that that's not common.
What do they do with 4 players here? Still need to walk through this. Big info on the cam, spotting push up there. So starting to fit. Oh, Boaster, okay. That wasn't the prettiest kill, but it gets the job done. And now, player advantage, weapon upgrade, plant gonna come in. It is still a 5v3. You do have those weapons now collected.
Purpo knows he needs to do something.
Getting ahead of this, but Chronicle seems aware, and so does Alpha. They are being very, very cautious about this, holding this position. Purpo isn't alone, though. Flickless with him, though. This is huge. Purpo finds the pick, and now it's going to be Kayak in the response. They are now dwindling in numbers. Down to just 2. Flickless still finding bodies to drop, and the defuse starting. He's got to go nuclear. Can't be done. Chronicle defends it. Defuse there for Kayak, and we're up to a 4-7. The pace safeguard thrifty to keep Fnatic in this.
Yeah, some nice kills from Fnatic, but what I did actually like is they played off-site on that A side of the map. They can't do that every single time, but it looked a lot cleaner when they're retaking in a situation where they're a little bit ahead.
1 enemy remaining.
Oh, wow, Kron. Very nice.
I like this new Kron. I don't remember Kron being this on on the cam, you know what I mean?
Yeah, like pumped up.
Pumped up, yeah.
Yeah. It's good to see. Don't know if he'll continue. Let's see. Because we didn't really get the depth tested for Giant X either. They've pretty much had their way with things, so it looks like directing their eyes towards Alpha's side of the map, towards B.
Yeah, Fnatic opened up with their A main aggression again.
Okay, Kayak. Big risk. Could be on for an absolute heater. Stunning towards Zara. Catching that, dipping away. They've got the first pick and they've got the man advantage.
Yeah, a little bit surprised that works with this composition. We've still got the drone, the camera. We have tools to check. Jump spot was okay, so Kayak did have to hit a nice shot.
This feels like some of those fakes that Giant X were running, but we can see there is intent behind it. There's the vast majority of the players can be working through from that market side. Flickler's going to pop the ult, and it's game on now. Alpha going to be swept aside after one. It's pretty much falling into Chronicle, who gets drive-by'd. Flickler's just... I don't know
That
if you
should be
saw
allowed.
him. Yeah, that doesn't even seem real, but still, they are only down to 2, right? It's Purple and Flickless. Purple's got his ult. Don't know if he's getting a real chance to play it much. But the map is closing in. We can see the positioning from Crashies. Discomfort from Purpo to try and play it forward. Flickless over towards Switch. Turns a flash. Gorgeous from Flickless. Needs a bit more here. Does he get the timing he wants? No. Kayak gonna shut it down. Fnatic with a little bit of resurgence towards the end here. Carving out a buffer going forward. Up to 5 rounds.
Yeah, an attack side, surprisingly, is a side that Boaster historically said he doesn't mind as much as the defense. I know in a sense that's a weird thing to say, but I think we've got a game on our hands.
We might do 5-7. Let's find out if we actually have a game on our hands. Look, camera's tricky sometimes. It's hard to figure out which way it points. I get it, don't worry. It's all good.
I was so
5-7.
desperate to see what it said. I couldn't.
Wait, where is the sign? Is it down there? Wait, is it?
Turn around.
Turn around. Guys in the crowd, turn around.
Oh, that's not listening
Oh, wait,
to
wait.
us at all.
I
Oh, wait.
can't see it. Wait, I'm looking. Oh, Shpoozy! Yeah, we love Shpoozy. If you don't know Shpoozy, then you don't know EMEA, is all I'm saying. We love Shpoozy out here. 5-7, though, we are just waiting for this one to get back up underway. Fnatic here, looking like they're not out of it yet, but we've got to give credit to Giant X. They've come into this as massive underdogs in this series, right?
Yep.
New players coming in, and both of them towards the top of the board as well for Giant X. Ara and Flickless, both towards the top end of things, looking very good on their debut here. But can it continue? We'll see if they've got what it takes on this defending side. And of course, for Giant X, how does it look for them really trying to deal with Fnatic on the attack?
Straight aggression here through middle. I won't expect it to be this deep into middle though.
Sure not. Oh! Ara clean. And this is nice for Giant X. Just taking the fight to Fnatic. No fear being shown. Flickless trying to back away, but he doesn't need to. Shoulders it well, takes away Boaster. Fnatic looking kind of outdone on this. That's so many players here. Oh my word, outdone. Yeah, beautiful. Giant X, where's this side been the whole time?
Still get him.
Sheriff's
Then get some more
was it
Kayak.
4?
If Kayak goes for this B orb, I respect this guy.
And you're saying you didn't respect him before?
I mean,
Hated
I
Kayak.
don't know how disciplined he is.
Off he goes.
Come on, go B, go. Go B, go B. But yeah, this round to me, it's a textbook round to show what the difference between Vice and Cypher and Killjoy is. The Killjoy and Cypher.
Hold on. Kayak's up to
Sorry.
No, it's over now. Ooh, Kayak? Nah, it's done now. Okay, there was a little moment. It could have been something. Okay, talk to me.
Sorry. So the Killjoy and Cypher obviously can have that information towards the middle of the map. The turret usually outside B on the little hut. The Vice doesn't have any passive info tools to really deal with that mid push. So usually you see those mid pushes kind of stopped short, but we saw it deep, and Fnatic weren't ready. That's going to have to be something in their pro. Okay.
It's crazy you're talking over the guy you don't respect.
Has to be something in their protocol list to deal with these mid pushes.
Got it. I do like that though from Giant X, right? Just kind of backing yourself in those fights, walking mid with 4 sheriffs, I guess, and they're doing it again, this time a little bit better equipped, and Cloud might catch Kayak. Oh, it's Purpo. Oh, he's made it across. He's going to be able to keep his life here, but that spike is over on the A side, and there's still a lot of bodies there.
It's really interesting to me that they're doing this on the anti-eco. Like, really stating loudly that this is something that they want to do, and I wonder if they're going to end up using this to plant seeds into Fnatic's mind, and then switch when it comes to the next round.
Fnatic forming up here. It's only Alpha with the Sheriff, Ghost with Kron, so it shouldn't be too hard for them to handle. You got to look at that nice angle as well for Cloud, lovely, and that's without even getting past Westside, who's going to be waiting. One's going to slip the net. Any big pressure? Okay, Cloud has to get away from that now. You can see Boaster going to take the space that was given. Aura going to catch the cross, though. That's Kayak gone. They're going to know that someone might have slipped that smoke. There is a chance of it. It's going to be found. Flickless very heads up. And Kron, last one alive. And not for long. Giant X with a flawless round. In zone flawless. All looking good.
And here we're going to see an interesting interaction of things happening. So Giant X on their bonus round. Usually this is where we expect some kind of strange aggression. But Fnatic have the Euro. And, you know, Fnatic are the type of team to cook up new ideas with these ults. So it'll be interesting to see, like, how these two ideas integrate this round.
30 seconds left.
Just getting caught in the drift. Oof. These pickups are looking good for Giant X. These are looking very good. But you're right. Let's see how these two moments interact here.
So Giant X, they've baited. They've done a little fake A main aggression push, but they've got a trap ready on the B side of the map if Fnatic explore there.
It's very pacey, isn't it? Straight up middle.
They think that the A side of the map is stacked. That might be enough information.
I don't know if Alpha saw 2 or 1, but then Flickless! Feeling brave, but right now Cloud is blinded. Kayak desperately trying to find them, but it's Alpha controlling it well. Yeah, they cleared this B main pressure very diligently. Good usage of the paranoia coming through everything, even under that real high tempo. Looking solid. Aura and Purpo probably not going to find too much here now. Well done to Fnatic to navigate all those threats.
Yeah, just the save angle likely. They want some economic damage here. Don't want to get Fnatic too ahead, but going to be difficult.
It's not looking likely. They're already shifting through towards main.
Kron is sniffing the map out. Again.
Purpo.
Last player
Gonna get dealt with by Alpha. Aura be the last to fall here. Yeah, probably opting to give this up. Quincy, they actually killed him in that, but did take him down in the end.
I do want to say that Giant X did exactly, they made Fnatic react exactly how they wanted to.
Yep.
And they got a little bit unlucky that Alpha full blind killed someone and couldn't capitalize, but Boaster's flash into B main was the winner there for me. I think Alpha getting the 3 kills there, though, is important. I think he had an okay first half, but I want to see Alpha, he's not had the best year so far. And I think that those kind of kills are rounds where... Ooh.
Hold on. Aura, they're getting wise to the games here, though. Fnatic seem to catch on with the fact that Giants love this mid-aggression. They've shown very little fear in these early rounds. They've been pressuring through Cat. They've been trying to get in their face. But Aura does lose an operator for this one. That's a pretty hefty price to pay for it. Now, for Fnatic, they can slow things down for a second, get the lay of the land, try and get some of that information building. Stack towards tree as well for Giant X. Cloud trying to be in the right place for this.
Yeah, Giant X have info on the B side of the map with the Cypher camera here. So they can stack towards this A side of the map. Oh, big kill from Kayak.
Yeah, going down, that's pretty brutal now. They're going to lose a lot of that control, and the cross going to feel treacherous for Westside.
But they keep the high low. So if there's no smoke here, this could be dangerous for Fnatic.
But they're going to cancel it. They're getting too curious, too worried about that B site. They might get the timing right. They absolutely have. Flickless. That is perfect impact. Going to be blinded, but it's fine. He gets out of it in time. Oh, but Alpha right back to it as well. Back and forth between the two, leaving Westside in a 1v2. And we saw how far he was. Luckily for him, he's made decent progress. Guess where Alpha is? Can you believe it? He's got company down there, though. Pause now. Slow down. Creeping away, gonna make this difficult for Westside. No util to play with, just the gun in hand. Has to clear Kron first. Can he get an isolated fight? I don't know. He's looking for it. Westside's been smacking some of these shots, but yeah, angle too good for Chronicle in the end. Gotta say it, Alpha that time saved them there. It felt like Flickless was on an absolute heater.
Yeah, both teams with the collat kills. Alpha, a little bit lucky, but I think that ultimately, he'll take those. And yeah, we're getting closer and closer. It looked like Giant X were gonna, you know, go away with this map, considering they were on the attack side. Defense usually being the strong side. But 9-7, only 2 rounds in it. Giant X back down to Sheriffs.
This team is scary, even in this. Nice from Boaster, though. Comfortable, beginnings. Not too much to worry about just yet. I feel like Aura loves to walk a smoke. This time not being given much of a chance with the spam from Chronicle.
There's a mid-re clear. Not going to get anything here. Flickless is all the way up A. Oh. Sorry, I made the mistake.
Can't believe it.
I did that one on my first cast, second round, and that's now I think the second time I've done that.
I think you'll be all right. I think you're fine. We'll let you get away with that one. Fnatic getting away with the A site as well. Slowly but surely working their way through. Flickless incredibly deep on the A site. You're right.
Yeah, he's in spawn.
Alpha got the lineups. Oh, they're unpleasant.
Yeah, that's. Like I said, all the micros been very interesting.
Sweating. Yeah, God, look at the time stall. It's heaven's just you can't work back from it.
Just looks like they want to economic damage potentially, but Jesus Christ.
Nice trade though from Cloud. As much like both teams are hitting shots today. I feel like we've got some really nice mechanics on display. Kayak still going to be very much in control. This shouldn't be too much of a threat. Too much of a threat. They make it out with 3. And all good in the end. Fnatic, one step closer.
Yeah, I mean, I did say.
What did you say?
Attack side. Boaster seems to prefer the attack side sometimes on this map. Traditionally, the side that people would say was one of the hardest in the game, I think.
I mean, but we have to put this in context, right? Giant X, who have yet to get a win this entire run, are still in the lead against Fnatic, who are meant to be back in form, right? Like, this is still very good from Giant X. Got to see them get to grips here, and having 2 brand new players. By all rights, they are drastically overperforming my expectations. Now, if they get held on 9, fair enough. It is what it is. Maybe Fnatic remembered how to play the game. But at this point, I'm still very impressed with this squad. Rashi's going to be forced off this, and they keep vying for this mid-pressure.
Yeah, it's not actually getting them kills here, but it is having to make Fnatic respect it.
What's that util to come through? Toward middle.
Yeah.
Gonna be Boaster catching Flickless.
That was just a right-click flash through the smoke. That's a bit bold. You know, I like the boldness from Ara in the first half, but a bit too bold for my liking from Flickless there.
Right here.
Giant
right
X,
read.
yeah, the right read here. Three-man stack.
Ara, the want to even it back up to a 4v4 is beckoning, isn't it? It calls to you. Is he patient enough? I think he's got an inkling here, hearing it, seeing it, who knows, but...
He's been left alone too.
Actually back, but he's going to hear the ult. He's got to see everything. The timing on that is unbelievable. Ara just tries to get away for now. Going to pop the ult to try and keep himself in this round. And now there's pressure coming from everywhere. They are close to the site, but they're waiting by the boathouse. A bit of a trip towards the back here. Ara doesn't know where to look, but soon enough he's going to have a flood of players coming his way. That smoke is lethal. Oh, but so's the knife to the throat. Oh, it's gorgeous from Ara. Giant X answering back instantly, furthering the distance again and keeping Fnatic down at their heels.
I've never felt so nervous watching a player during a round. I felt so tense. And he's pulled out a blinder there. 3k from Ara to keep Giant X into that round, all by himself, essentially.
Yeah, it really was. Again, watching this, because the amount of pressure he's getting, you know, coming down from the stairs, coming down from catwalk, all of this, so much.
Nice, Ara, good job!
I love that we just held his off the entire time, too. It felt like we were watching a replay.
Yeah,
like a whole...
You genuinely felt how pressured that was there for that player, because you know these you're up against Fnatic. Their spacing's normally good, their trading's normally good, the util's solid. Like, you don't get those windows to have a lot of freedom in. You know what I mean? You don't get your multis too easily against Fnatic. He worked like a dog for that one. He was, you know, dog with a bone. He wasn't going to give it up.
Like if we switch to his POV there, as soon as he gets his kills, you think, oh, you know, he's had a nice, but like all that tension before, Jesus.
No, he did very well, especially the reaction to seeing, you know, Alpha's ult coming in as well, going for the knives, kind of get him away from having to be dependent on that operator that he didn't find too much luck with early on. However, we have a timeout. Now keep in mind, Giant X are leading. Pipson doesn't always look like he's leading and happy about the result. He's, you know, he's a taskmaster, is old Pipson. So clearly, though, the boys doing well in this regard. You know, they're keeping up to this, but maybe just wanted to check in because it was 3 in a row, and that was a bailout round by Ara. So across the board, you'd still say Fnatic are doing well in this half. Operator out for Alpha.
Yes.
How do you feel about that?
Not great.
Like you forget, you support the Boaster operator.
Actually, I take that back. I think that Alpha's attack side op is surprisingly decent.
Okay.
Thinking back to it, there were times where like he had to play the chamber for us, and he was pretty good with the attack side op. I think Durka much prefers the defense side, and I think Alpha was pretty good on the attack side.
Let's see how he fares this round. Peeking into that Ara. That's...
Thank you, Alpha. Thank you.
I don't think that was really Alpha in my mind. I think that was Ara peeking back in towards main. Maybe not expecting an operator up. Maybe, I think Kayak maybe showing some presence earlier, or someone, or even Boaster, but still.
The classic timeout happens by an operator.
Yeah. And again, this is also just learning lessons for people like Ara, for people like Flickless as well, of the difference of how much you get punished at this level. For now, Purpo gonna have to rescind away from that A main side. Flickless not clean enough on that. Chronicle gonna clear it. And now Purpo's under pressure himself. We saw how well Ara did, but now you've got to make your own go of it. That's not how it's going to work out, Purpo. Kind of connecting that above the dice, it looked like.
30
That's a comfortable plant. And west side, Alpha's just watching over the prized possession.
Spike planted.
Yeah, economic situation not great from Giant X, so west side does need to save this Vandal. Fnatic can't hunt too much though. The economic situation on both sides not great.
Yeah, pretty fragile. Right now they're really stabilized. So I want to kind of keep it where it is. It looks like maybe Kron's searching, and so is maybe Alpha. Sorry, Boaster, but actually they are searching on this.
What?
I don't love that. I mean, nice from Alpha.
I like them being together, but Boaster had his smokes out, so not sure what happened.
Boaster's in the next round, mate.
Yeah, he's thinking, he's cooking.
Can they? I think they can spread the money out here.
Okay, another timeout. That makes sense. I think with the round, the game being so close, the economic situation being so close, and so many ults to play with in this round, I think this is a good timeout from Pipson.
is going to shatter the money of Giant X as well. Looking at that, they do come out substantially worse. But yeah, it is getting into crunch time now. So another check-in from Pipson here. Maybe just something to deal with that operator, keep that in there, fresh in their minds as well. But obviously, if you are playing along at home, both sides are able to talk during this timeout. It isn't just that one-man, side of things. So Fnatic also going to be able to check in with boys and see how they're feeling about this. I do want to see, I think Crashies could drop Kayak if he hasn't already got one anyway. But for the side of Giant X, they've got a whole lot of ults and not a lot of weaponry. So it does get a bit of a tricky round. There are a couple of things that could go right for them. But
yeah, Fnatic side looking at that Sova and Teo ult, we know that they can cook on maps with these ults. And we haven't seen Ascent much at all in EMEA. So I want to see what new things we got.
Chronicle with the operator now.
I mean,
everyone's having now.
Okay, now it's
Now we wait. Retrieving flash.
Might be questioning it.
Flash plate.
Most curious.
Retrieving wall.
You are up against Sheriffs, and a classic for Flickless. It's probably I don't want to say it's an easy round. They're never easy rounds, but oh, they're getting aggressive. Look at Ara. Away we go, straight up the guts. Oh, almost had him so close. They are desperate to get Boaster dead here. Cloud trying to connect that from far away.
Fortunately, they called the Omen who has the TP. Get out of that server ult easily.
Kayak, in the meantime, trying to progress towards that B site. They made a bit of a gambit. I like that. I like the attempt at the play, right? Try and be a little bit proactive, take a risk, take a chance. And Boaster again, bloody hell, he is just about evading presence. Chronicle, oh god. Question mark, Boaster. Oh my god, oh my god. It's okay, it's Boaster, he's fine. He's fine on that. Cloud and Flickless go down. He gets CT control. There's still pressure here though, right? Like, Boaster can be smoked off, which he has been. His smoke's not up for another couple of seconds. Nice from Boaster though. Laying it in right. Aura just gonna beeline with Westside towards the site as best they can, see if they can try and pry these players out of the back site here, but time is running low. They gotta go now or they gotta go never. They're trying to make something happen. Westside and Aura doing well here. Boaster gonna have to go for the ace. And he's gonna wait for it, he's got it. Boaster saving Fnatic from what looked like a bloody mess of a round.
That was crazy. I kind of was just like, that's over, kind of was starting to think about the next round completely. Boaster has to bail them out with an ace, joins that list of players.
And this isn't one of those aces I feel that's ever going to go into a highlight reel, right? It's just not. Because the context of the round feels horrific. It's like, what? Oh, how did Cron die? We don't. Oh?
What the hell? I've never got an ace. That's my first ace.
Oh.
Nice! And it was that.
Look. Maybe we just cut out the kill feed of what else happened.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? If we could blow that out, guys, that'd be great. Outside of that,
the ult plans are coming in for Fnatic here. They're getting stalled by this KO knife, but Teo ult coming in.
ooh, and the Sova as well.
But nothing on it so far.
So I'm looking at who's tucked up on top here. Purpo. Oh my god. It's fine.
Yeah. Flickless just pops that KO ult in reaction, and Fnatic can't do anything. Completely stuck in that choke. That's a big win from Giant X.
Where did Fnatic now go? You've got Boaster with the TP if they need it, right? He's got his ult there, but they really want to end towards A, it looks like.
Yeah, but for me, again, it's this camera on B that just allows Giant X to do anything they want in this map. If Fnatic don't explore this camera and break it, it's going to be easy for Giant X to stack towards this A side.
Oh, but Alpha just ahead of where Flickless expected. Controls the corner now. Purpo's position gets really tricky. Harder to handle on this angle, but he's so clean! Purpo, that is gorgeous from you! Takes the TP out, but he might have absolutely destroyed Fnatic's approach. Now we look at their deeper options. Boaster trying to give them another layer. He's been caught. No ace this time, buddy. That's a 4v2. Kayak and Crashies don't have anywhere to go here. No info on A, no info on B, and no time. Out of time and out of options. Hey, credit to Purple on that. It gets so tricky when that, when short becomes available, when you've still got the pressure from A main. He did really well. Super clean shots there.
I'd be really interested to know if Purple was playing that position specifically against the ults that Fnatic had. Like, Tail ult is usually used at the back of the site.
That's true.
And if you know they're going to come through A main, that position's beautiful to play.
Thank you. Bro, you see how I'm hitting them, bro? Insane.
Those shots were nasty, though.
They're really nice.
Like, there's a reason he used to play the duelist.
He's a very talented boy, and he's towards the bottom of the scoreboard here for Giant X, so that's a step for them in the right direction. 11 to 10, just about tipping the lead again. Now, Alpha 1 away from ult, 2 away from Kayaks. They've got a couple on the horizon here. Big early look towards A with the util at the very least.
Coming up into heaven. It gets cancelled by the knife. Beautiful from Flickless.
One suppressed.
That's really, really impressive. Now, Purpo still in a bit of a, I want to say an all-in position. He's going to be noted this time. You're not going to get away with, oh! My God, what are they feeding these young players? Flickless does do well to get 2. Is going to be traded in, but Cloud going to continue to keep the numbers up for Giant X. The spike is down in main, Mini. They're screwed, surely. I mean, Kayak's got his ult. He does get out of there. Hold on, can Giant X keep their composure? Yeah, it looks like they can. Alpha found towards hell. Kayak. A lot of pressure on one man's shoulders now, 1v3. This would be the 12th for Giant X. Kayak waiting for someone to give him that 1v1. Does anyone dare do it? Who blinks first? He moves forward towards main. We can see the positions on the minimap, but Kayak has to go in. Lovely. Nice try, but Cloud in the end, taking him up to 12. Look, we had Purpo have an impact in the previous. Flickless now finding 2. Those shots on main, I know we're going to have a replay of it. I'm waiting to see that come back up because that was stunning control under, again, high pressure. Look at that. Just beautiful. And Cloud fighting with him from up on top of heaven. This is a totally different looking Giant X.
Yeah, I thought when Purpo died initially, I thought that was it, but Flickless comes in. Cloud, he gets kills, but also that recon at the end.
Incredible. My favorite Sliggy chatter.
He usually flames me, but so does everyone, to be fair.
Yeah, but it's got to hurt when it comes from Yampy, right?
Why is that?
Because like, he knows what he's saying. You know what I mean?
Oh, I see.
Like when, you know, others mock you, it's like, who cares?
The other people in chat.
But when Yampy's like...
No, I like the back and forth with Yampy.
Well, I got so confused. I thought it was a Giant X timeout then. I'm like, wait, have they had 3? It's not. It's a Fnatic timeout. Because, look, they've been held on 10 here. 2 rounds back-to-back. Really nice. But Fnatic have a couple of ults here, Mini, right? We were talking about how close they were before. Alpha had it in the previous. Kayak's now got his here. Big ults to play with, you know, kind of like sight-controlling ults. A lot can be gathered, but it's not like Giant X won't be aware.
Fnatic have to take the timeout, but it's unfortunate they do, because now it allows Pipson to come in and talk about these ults and figure out a way to beat them. I might not have even taken the timeout there and taken pressure from the outside. You know,
That's a big call. Okay,
I know people are like, why the hell is he not taking the timeout at 12-10? But if we've got rounds cooked up with these ults, I don't want to bring in the coach to talk about it.
That is true. Yeah, this let's see how well prepared Giant X are, because obviously Fnatic will have to use this, but you're using it with Kayak unable to afford a rifle at this point.
Yeah, I would probably...
Why wouldn't you give him the rifle?
I think we give him the rifle here.
Right?
Spectre's not the best entry weapon.
Yeah, a weird decision in that front. And Ara opting for the Outlaw. It does feel like a lot of the kind of...
I guess he has the ult, so maybe he should have Bucky.
Sure. Again, I feel like these tier 2 players, or players coming up from the tier 2, are so used to playing with that Outlaw as well. Because it's something I'm so used to seeing. Even doing it in something like a 12-10 scoreline when he's obviously got enough to be able to go for the rifle, but I kind of respect it at this point.
Yeah, I mean, every single player in Fnatic are one shot right now.
Yep. Okay, Kayak, here comes the ult. Straight up middle, right up the guts, going to spot the util. How much more does he get from this? Looking for maybe... Oh, what he's looking for here. Okay, backside control and maybe a crunch. So they've got Boathouse, but Cloud's taking Kayak away. This feels like it's fallen short already. They've been hindered at main. Might get spammed through on the wall. They will. Cloud, stunning. And they're so ready for this. Look at these shorties in hand. They know exactly what you're going for. Westside just trying to buy time. Wait for it to fade away, but the TP gets taken. A Purpo's on the site now. Chronicle's got problems. They got the rifles back out. Crashies and Kron can't do enough. It's 13-10. Giant X outdoing Fnatic here on Ascent.
Big upset in this first map, but Giant X are going to have to go now towards Lotus and maybe even Haven. And these are maps that Fnatic are a bit more comfortable.
Spot on. This is a perfect start for the underdog here. Can it continue? Can they really take Fnatic on home turf? We'll find out after this.